I'm rejoining now with Tom Smith, the Director of Cybersecurity for New York State. And Tom, thank you for taking the time to be with the InfraGuard members, not only here in New York State, but those who have joined us from outside New York State as well. We certainly appreciate that. One of the things I did note during your discussion with us, and, quite frankly, I wasn't aware that I had a sense, but I wasn't aware to the degree that malware and all of its little sisters and brothers and cousins out there have become quite a business. All right, and just as you said, packaged up, ready to go with warranties, service level agreements and everything else. They've really taken this, from hey, listen, I've got a really cool piece of code that can take down your system, to listen, I'm looking to sell 500,000 boxes this year. It's really taken a turn.
Yes, it really is something where we see that now more and more people have these tools available to them, and you've taken it out of the realm that the individual mounting the attack has to himself be technically sophisticated. Essentially, you can buy the expertise and then use it for your own purposes, whether that's to be a hacktivist, to steal intellectual property, to steal credit card numbers. So that's something that we see, that the environment is such that these attacks can be more sophisticated from a larger number of adversaries.
Yeah, you could actually buy one system over in one of the Eastern Bloc countries, and then you could buy something else over in Brooklyn, New York, and something else over in the Far East, and put it all together in one package, and I guess really hammer somebody. But
yes, and it really makes the attribution question much more difficult. Is that you're tracking it back, but you really can't get at the attacker.
Yeah, no. All right. So I interrupted you. You were on your advanced persistent threat right after that. Why don't you take it up from there?
What we like to do is we talk about some of these advanced attacks, and we do get the people who say, as one of the other speakers said, well, that can't happen to me. Yeah. So what we try to do is take some object lessons, and we talk about account takeovers. And one of the most powerful lessons that we've had in recent years involves a school district here outside of Albany, the Duanesburg Central School District, who unfortunately allowed their employees to use the same computer that was used for online banking for other work, including some perhaps personal business. And one of the computers was infected. It was taken over. The password credentials for the bank account were stolen, and the hackers transferred more than $3 million out of the school district's account over a Christmas holiday. Now, thankfully, the bank eventually noticed the transfers and noticed that they were not normal, and they were able to reverse $2.5 million of the transfers, but the school district ended up losing $500,000. And as we talked about, a small upstate school district, that would be a not inconsequential sum and would have a direct impact on the taxpayer. But when you drill down into it, again, it was a simple fix not to let people use the same computer for the banking as they used for other purposes. So that would have been something that, with the appropriate control in place, the school district might have been able to prevent that attack. Similarly, we see incidents in other states. We have in Texas, their Department of Public Safety was brought down by what we all heard about, the Conficker virus. But the interesting thing is there that the issue for them happened more than 6 months after the Conficker patches had been issued by Microsoft. So there's an instance where a timely and consistent patching program to update software on the agency's computers would have prevented the attack. And again, we see these things where what might appear to be a sophisticated attack could be prevented by some simple, what would really be not very resource-intensive controls to keep things up to date and have the appropriate controls in place. And the last example of that I have is that we did read about a penetration test that a city actually hired out to a penetration tester, and the penetration tester was able to access the video cams on the police car dashboard and gain control of those. And the reason he disclosed in his report that he was able to do that is that no one had ever changed the default passwords on the systems. So he was able to go on the internet, search for the owner's manuals for these devices, and determine what the default passwords were. And that enabled him to gain access to these potentially law enforcement sensitive systems. So again, what we look at, and you know, trying to take it out of the realm of it can happen to me, oh, that's science fiction, we try to bring it down to these object lessons for people. And I think these same object lessons are applicable to small and medium businesses, where they can put some simple, consistent controls in place and address a considerable amount of the risks that they face. We're trying to limit vulnerabilities and have them in a better position.
All right, Tom.